everyone, welcome into the State Champs studio for a special playoff edition of Above the Net sponsored by Raymond James. And this week we are airing it on Thursday because we were on the tail end of the district playoffs, the semifinals and the finals. So we want to get everyone in before things get shaken up here, as we see every year with the playoffs happening.
Yeah, when I do my predictions, I don't want people to think I'm cheating or anything like that, you know?
Right, right. We can't have any of that. We don't want anybody to blame you for if anything happens. But we'll get right into it with starting to a little bit of a preview and predictions for Division 4. What are some of your thoughts on that, Vince?
Lenawee Christian's probably been the top team all season long. They've got a couple of left sides who, when you're at that smaller Division 4 school,
yeah,
you got schools that are less than, I believe, 200 kids. Having two outside hitters is a big deal, and they have that. They've been tops all season long. I think they're going to meet up with St. Philip's in the regionals, and then Athens, who beat Mendon, who's another top Division 4 team. That's another foe that they're going to have to get past. On the other side of the bracket, Leland up in the Traverse City area. Lori Glass, I feel like she's in Battle Creek every year. She probably has an unlimited membership at the McCalmy Plaza Hotel. She's there so often.
That's awesome. Well, we see a lot of talent in Division 4 and then in Division 3. What do you think this is going to shake up like?
SMCC lost to Reese last year in the finals. They lost. They were up 2-0.
Yeah.
Cruising along, and I know they're hungry.
That was a crazy final.
A lot of fun. A lot of fun to watch. I was sitting with SMCC fans. I coach a couple of kids on SMCC.
Yeah.
And it was heartbreaking up there, I will tell you that.
I bet.
They're geared up for a long playoff run. They were young last year. They started a couple freshman studs, McKenna Payne and Jess Coslow. Saw Puamo play early in the year, and Puamo can beat them. Puamo has the size. They've got a great setter. They've got some athleticism. So I think those two are on a collision course. We're going to talk about Division 1, Division 2 dark horses, but I'm going to throw a D3 dark horse in there in Blissfield. I think they've got some solid players that are playing behind a good defense, and so we'll see what happens in D3.
Yeah, we will keep our eyes on that, and we might have to go back to this in the next couple weeks and see if you were right, Vince. But moving on to Division 2, this is a pretty stacked division with really good teams. How do you see this one shaking up?
I think 4 teams are the favorite to make it to Battle Creek, bring home some hardware. North Branch has always been my number 1 in Division 2. They're very battle tested. Another team that is battle tested is Country Day. You've got Notre Dame Prep, and unfortunately those 3 teams are in the same region, district. So district Notre Dame, it's probably going to be Notre Dame Prep and Country Day in the district final, and then the winner of that is going to go to the region where North Branch is going to be waiting for them.
It's no easy path to get to the state finals.
No, especially early. It's a bummer that they got to play so early.
Yeah.
But that's how the cookie crumbles, so to speak. You've got Lakewood on the other side of the bracket, who's always perennially at Battle Creek. They're without the O'Gorman sisters, who've been around Lakewood for a long time. It feels like they're both at Michigan State. But Coach Cameron has a great team that has an opportunity to make it back there. I think for Division 2, I think this is my favorite division to watch. It's so competitive. There's a lot of teams that could make it to Battle Creek. So those 4 front runners, I expect them there, but I also think teams like Imlay City and Regina and all those guys could knock other teams out. So we'll see.
But in our final division, Division 1, it's always a stacked slate of really good teams. So when you look at this division, what do you see? Who do you think has the edge here?
We've talked about them all season long. Marion's one of the teams that has the edge. I do appreciate being a fan now and not coaching.
Yeah.
Because I know we would be spending a lot more time trying to figure out who our opponent is, preparing.
Yeah.
As I said last week in the show, everybody's 0-0. They've got a target on their back that they've been wearing for about 3 years now.
Yeah.
So they're going to get the team's best. I think Coach she knows her group's battle tested, especially in the postseason. Northville is a favorite. Northville is the only team that's beaten Marion this year. They're a favorite to get to Battle Creek. They've got to get by Novi, who's in their district, and that's a rival. You've got Skyline, who's got Harper Murray. She can turn it on to a whole nother level that not very many players in the state can even reach.
Right.
Forest Hills Northern with Kennedy Lewis, so all those teams have been in our top 10 this year and at the higher end of our top 10.
So there's just so much talent all around. But Vince, like you mentioned, we do have some dark horses that we want you guys to watch as the playoffs continue, and we'll talk about a few of them here. So we'll start with Division One. How about that? We'll start with Division One.
She's going backwards on me.
We're going back. We call an audible here. Who do you think is a dark horse? What team do we need to watch as these playoffs keep on rolling here?
I think you got to think deep. I think there's a couple of teams out there that have been in our top 10 who I think can make a run. Clarkston, they've got the athletic ability, they've got the size, they've got the setting, they've got the defense that I think they can beat any team here.
Yeah.
So I expect them to play Marion in the quarterfinals. And then you've got a good buddy of mine, coaches with me at Michigan Elite, Dakota, Neil Rosinski. He's the coach over at Dakota. He's loaded with talent as well. They would run into Marion in the regionals. So they played Marion, I think, 4 times this year, and they've been close. I feel like every time they played them, it's been closer and closer and closer. Yeah. So they're hungry for that. Yeah. You've got some deep, dark horses. I just saw Bedford play over the weekend, and they've got a sophomore middle hitter that is captivating to watch, Victoria Gray.
Yeah.
She is as good as they get. So you got Bedford, and I think they'll make it out of their district fairly easily. And then you've got Grand Blanc, who Blanc is going to be playing Clarkston, I think, in the regional finals. Coach Renee Madison loves her chances. They played Clarkston tough early in the year, went 3. So you could see them in the quarterfinals, and then once you get to the top 8, it's part of it is off sheer emotion and momentum,
right,
and just how do you game plan against what are our matchups too,
right?
You know.
And speaking of momentum, it's always interesting to see which teams peak at the right point in the season and find that emotion and keep that going throughout the postseason. That's always important. Absolutely. To watch. But we do have some dark horses in Division 2. Who do you think is someone we need to watch this postseason?
Frankenmuth. Frankenmuth is very defensively strong. They've got an outside hitter, Audrey Gear, who's as good as it comes in Division 2.
Yeah.
She's going to Marshall. And then speaking of Marshall, Marshall High School is
I see what you did there. Good one.
They've got Al McAllister, who is a libero. She's one of the best liberos in the state. I feel like Division 2 has the best liberos in the state,
yeah,
really. You've got North Branch Haley Green. You got Marshall, who I think is a dark horse here. Birch Run with Callie-Ann Cook. So the defense in Division 2 is going to be a lot of fun to watch, which is why that's one of my favorite divisions to watch. So again, Birch Run, Marshall, Frankenmuth, I think you got to look out for.
Yeah, I'm glad that we give love to liberos here because sometimes they go unnoticed or they don't show up on the stat sheet, which isn't fair because they help make the play happen.
The shorties need some love.
They need some love, that is for sure. Well, we will see how this all shakes up and have more on it next week. We're going to take a quick break and check in with our friends at the DMC Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine, and we got a chance to ask one of the doctors a very important question.
Hi, my name is Skylar, and I'm from Northfield, Michigan, and my question is do all ACL injuries require surgery?
So that's a great question. So no, not all ACL injuries need surgery, especially partial ACL injuries, which are considered sprains, don't require surgery if the ligament is structurally intact and therefore doesn't result in knee instability. Complete ACL tears also do not always require surgery, especially in older individuals or individuals with certain activity levels that don't require cutting, pivoting, and twisting movements, which are all movements for which an ACL is needed. However, in most athletes, especially younger athletes, almost all complete ACL injuries require surgery to restore knee stability in order to allow patients to get back to returning to various activities and sports. And it also reduces the risk of additional other injuries such as meniscus and cartilage injuries in the knee.
Do you have a sports injury, or are you just looking to take your game to the next level? Then go where the pros go. DMC Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. For immediate care, call 313-910-9328 or visit dmc.org/gamechangers.
The theme song gets you pumped every time, but this week we have a special edition of our Volleyball Player of the Year update brought to you by Michigan Elite Volleyball Academy, and we're going to talk about the top 3 in voting right now and then give you a rundown on how important it is to get out there and vote. So, Vince, if we're looking at the top 10 right now, the list closed already, but we look at the top 10, if we see the top 3 in voting, we've got Erin Madigan from Dakota. She has over 7,000 votes. And then in second in voting, Remy Madison from Grand Blanc has over 5,000. And then coming in third in the voting, Abby Reck from Northville. She has over 1,000. So we just want to remind you guys how important it is to get out there and vote for who you think deserves Volleyball Player of the Year, because the top vote getter will automatically get a spot in the Final Four. So that's why it's so important to get your votes out there. But you know, Vince, we talk about it week after week, and when you look at this list, those top 3 that are in the voting, what do you see in these 3 players?
They're different players.
Right.
Erin is a great setter leading Dakota. Dakota's a top 10 team. She's, you know, usually I think back in the day of volleyball, if you had a girl of that size, she would probably be stuck in the middle, being 6'2", long, athletic kid. But she started setting, and I think she's really done a great job in that role. You got Remy Madison, who's a little undersized outside, but just jumps out of the gym and can hit the snot out of the ball. And then Abby Reck is a middle who converted to an outside, and one of my favorites to win this award because of what she's doing for her Northville program. And I think a lot of these athletes we start to see the best of them in the playoff race. And now they've been stepping it up all season long, and now it's these athletes that are going to step up. So I'm excited about our Final Four coming up in the next couple weeks.
Like we said, whoever is the top vote getter automatically advances to the Final Four, and then we'll have the other 3. So it's going to get exciting.
Well, girls, get your friends, get them off of TikTok for like 10 seconds. Go on the website and vote for your friends.
Yeah, real easy. StateChampsW.com, the banner's right there. Click the banner for Vote for Volleyball Player of the Year. Make your pick, done. Takes all about 10 seconds if we're counting. But make sure you go and do that, and we will keep you updated next week on our race for Volleyball Player of the Year. Hard to believe we are already this far into the playoffs, but good luck to everyone out there tonight and tomorrow as the district semifinals and finals come to an end this weekend. So next week we will have a recap of what happened this weekend and then preview the regionals. So Vince, it's only going to get better from here.
It's a lot of fun every week. It's just a blast, and we're ready for the state finals coming up.
Yeah, we are. It's coming up sooner than later. It's so crazy. But everyone have a great weekend, and we will see you next week. Nominations are being accepted now for the Detroit Athletic Club Foundation's Michigan High School Athlete of the Year Awards. 6 females and 6 males will win a $1,000 college scholarship and be invited to the DAC in downtown Detroit on June 5th, 2023 to find out who will be this year's Athlete of the Year. Seniors only, and you can't be nominated if you don't apply. Find out more and download the application at dacathleteoftheyear.com. State Champs Above the Net is presented by Raymond James, tailored financial advice that helps you live your life. State Champs Above the Net is also powered by Lawrence Technological University. Visit ltuathletics.com and recruit yourself. Michigan Elite Volleyball. Work hard, play hard. Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. The Michigan Army National Guard, a proud sponsor of the MHSAA. And the Detroit Medical Center Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine Pros. Visit dmc.org/gamechangers.